Hello, everybody. Marcus Guiliano here, your host of In the Weeds, real tales from real restaurateurs. And I have Bill joining me today. Hello, Bill.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bill, where are you joining us from?
Bill Tobin at Tiki's Grill and Bar in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm the co-founder and managing partner of Tiki's. We are a high volume destination restaurant across the street from Waikiki Beach. Busy every day of the year.
Be busy. Love it. Busy every day of the year. Love it. Love to hear restaurateurs that are crushing it. So now you always weren't in the restaurant business. How did you get into the restaurant business? We're just starting. How'd this happen? How did your love affair for restaurants happen?
It's really kind of funny. I was in the U.S. Army, and I had a regular job. And on the weekends, I went to this redneck rock and roll bar, and the owner said to me, "Hey, if you're coming here every weekend, why don't you stand at the door and check IDs for me?" Then I did. I said, "Okay, that sounds fun. You make a little extra income." One day the bar back didn't show up. He said, "Hey, can you jump behind the bar and wash glasses for me?" I said, "Okay." Then a few weeks later, one of the bartenders didn't show up, and he said, "Hey, can you bartend for me?" And I said, "I don't know how to bartend." And he said, "Well, what's in a rum and coke?" And I said, "Rum and coke." And he said, "You're hired." And it's been a love affair since then.
Beautiful. What's in a rum and coke? Love it. Great interview. All right. So love affair ever since then. So how long has the restaurant been open?
So we've been open 17 years. It'll be 18 in October, same as you. It's fun. We had our challenges, of course, like every restaurant when we opened, but we did open busier than we expected. And a lot of the things were just trying to get over, you don't know what you don't know. And everybody thinks that they know how to run a restaurant until they actually open one.
Bingo. Bingo. And even people still don't learn after they've been in it for many years. So,
ditto that.
Which is why I wrote the book, 50 Mistakes That Restaurant Owners Make. And I handed it to a friend one time who has a lot of restaurants. And he goes, "Marcus, only 50? He goes, "I can write it with 250 mistakes." And I said, "Yeah, you're right. But I had to stop somewhere. Maybe I'll have some sequels come out on the book." So how do you handle mistakes? How do you handle failures in the industry?
Well, that's one of the great things about this industry is we are we're in the people business. And when you focus on your mistakes, you own it, you apologize, and you make it right. And so I think the guest appreciates when you do that. And as long as you are there to say, "Hey, this isn't right, I'm going to make it right for you," then the guest appreciates it and are more likely to return because you've owned up, you backed yourself and said, "Hey, my integrity is important and I want you as a customer for a long time."
That is so crucial. Thank you for mentioning this. So many restaurant owners are like, "I'm not giving that person anything for free. They're taking advantage of me. They're wrong." And then all of a sudden they get a 1-star review on Yelp and then they play the blame game again. Well, Yelp sucks. If you're just taking responsibility for the first time that you might be wrong and that let's make the guests right, you wouldn't be down that road. Very, 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 very awesome advice. Very crucial advice. And let's face it, the guest always isn't right.
Yeah. But I don't tell them they're not right to their face. Yeah,
you can't. But we're in the people business. We're there to make people happy no matter what. And it does suck when we know the guest is totally wrong or they're totally taking advantage of to us. But you put kindness on them, and we have I know for me personally, we have a guarantee policy. You don't like my food, it's free, or I'll make it right, or it's free, one or the other. So, don't restaurant owners that have this like, they act like every single thing is like going to like not charging somebody 10 or 15 bucks or 20 bucks is going to make or break their night. No.
Well, I actually had a manager when I was a young manager, and a guest was complaining, and I went to the side to him and I said, "I think this guest is just trying to get over. They're trying to take advantage of us." And he said, "Who cares?" He says, that's 1 in 20 of your guests that will do that, and you want to make sure that you take care of everybody, and don't just take care of it and be gone with them. The next guest, you want to take care of them, and don't get jaded on it.
Love that advice. Love that advice. Now you worked for Hard Rock as well, correct?
Yep, I was. That's where I cut my teeth. I went through the manager trainee program with Hard Rock, and really learned a lot. Had some great leaders, and took that with me. As a matter of fact, even today, I think of some of the leaders that I had, and I try to emulate them when I am dealing with guests or dealing with employees.
Now, you have a general manager, you have an executive chef. What is your role in your restaurant? What does your job description look like?
I see myself as the visionary. I'm the guy who picks the point on the horizon and say, this is where we're headed, and really try and direct the boat, keep the culture intact. When we first opened, I was the general manager, and I was there every day, and I was spending 12, 14 hours there. Had a young child at home with my wife and was neglecting them, but it actually happened. Unfortunately, my mother got sick and I was traveling to go visit her, so I couldn't be in the restaurant every day. And I realized that I could actually affect the restaurant more and work on the business, not in the business, by not being on the floor at the host stand every day, by taking a step back and saying, hey, this needs fixed, helping with the direction of the restaurant. It actually became much more effective. And by stepping away and working on the restaurant instead of in the restaurant, we were able to double sales in just a few years.
That is amazing, doubling sales. So you basically shifted your job description to the visionary. So we all know the saying, it's better to work on your business than in your business. A lot of small restaurateurs are thinking, well, gee, I just can't afford to do this. Any advice to those people that think like, well, I have to be the general manager, or I have to be the chef, and I have to be the one in the kitchen. If I'm not in the kitchen's not running and the doors aren't open, I can't take a vacation. Any advice to those people?
When you say that you can't afford to hire somebody else, I say you can't afford not to, because really being able to step back and focus on your business and not stand and make every plate every day, but focus on your business and work to market, work to say this is where the restaurant's going, and taking the time to direct and talk to your people individually instead of doing jobs in your restaurant is so important.
Absolutely. So you had mentioned that from Hard Rock before we started the interview, that Hard Rock had a guideline or philosophy on leaving the restaurant and how long the restaurant should be able to operate without.
Yeah. So when I was a young manager with Hard Rock, they actually said that if you can't leave the restaurant for 1 week, and if you're worried about leaving for 1 week and you're thinking it's going to fail because you're not there, then you're not managing your restaurant well. You should be able to step away from the restaurant for at least a week, and all the systems in place should manage themselves. The people should, of course you have other managers, but it should be able to step away so that everything is still functioning without your presence.
Love that. I would take a good system over a good leader any day.
Yeah.
Leaders can be replaced. Good systems are just so valuable. Excellent. So, your restaurant, largest volume independent restaurant out there in that part of Hawaii, that must feel good.
Yeah, we feel pretty lucky that there are hotel restaurants, there's some chain restaurants, but we are the largest independent restaurant in Waikiki, the highest volume independent restaurant in Waikiki.
So have you thought about expanding another location, second location? Has that ever crossed your mind?
Yeah, so I actually did open a second restaurant in Waikiki in 2007. And actually, this goes to your question, what's your biggest failure? I actually opened a second restaurant, and I guess the failure in that was that I didn't listen to the people around me. There were lots of people who said, hey, is this the right location? Are you doing the right thing? But also, we were undercapitalized. I was trying to do too many things. Again, working in the restaurant instead of working on it. And then what really it's kind of funny. We closed down right at the beginning of the recession, and everybody said, "Wow, how did you see that coming? That was such a smart move." But the truth of it is, we were running out of money, and I wasn't going to be able to pay the employees if I stayed open much longer. And the employees were the most important part to me. I need to have money in the bank to cover those paychecks. And then I said, okay, this isn't going to work out. And I settled out with the landlord to let me out of the lease, and we were gone, and they re-leased it to another tenant who has struggled there since. It was just a bad location.
All right, excellent. So you learned from that. So some valuable lessons you've taught us here, really valuable lessons, some great mentality though, because it's the stuff you're telling us about this whole thing about, not working in your business is so valuable to be the visionary. I like when I asked you your job description, you said the visionary. That's beautiful. I think every owner, that should be the first thing on their job description. If you don't have a job description, write a job description down for you, and make sure your staff knows your job description, because they need to know what our role is. And I'm a big fan of that, because they sometimes staff gets confused and they think, well, Marcus is here, why isn't he doing this? No, Marcus has been here since 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and Marcus has already done X, Y, and Z.
Mark, so you made me think of one other thing. For probably the last 10 years, on job description, I've put on my business card custodian, and I don't mean custodian in the way of mopping floors and cleaning toilets, even though as a business owner we all do that, and I'm not above doing any of those jobs. But when I think of custodian, we're the custodian of people's special moments, whether it be somebody on a first date or anniversary dinner, birthday, just meeting a group of friends. These are people's special moments when they come into our restaurant. And as restaurateurs, we're the custodian of the memories and their special moments.
I love that. I totally love that interpretation. Love it, love it, love it. All right, before we finish up, one piece of advice to a new restaurateur, somebody who is thinking about joining the industry, or that they've just actually signed the lease, getting ready to open.
I would say know your numbers, know your numbers well, have a budget that you're strict to, and understand that everything's going to cost more than you expect. I can't tell you how many restaurants open up without enough money, or they spend what they've saved up to open the restaurant on all the wrong things.
I would not, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. 100%. Great. Know your numbers. I think at any stage of the game, you need to know your numbers every single week, every single month, every food costs, inventory, reports, sales reports, all these kind of things. Most people just overlook this. And this is the part of the visionary part. Like, the owner should be the one running all these reports, not there chopping carrots and making soup and working the podium. Yeah. You should be at a computer knowing that, hey, meatloaf sales are sluggish, and first of all, we're running 34% on meatloaf, and it shouldn't even be on our menu to begin with.
Well said. Well said.
All right, Bill, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. Lots of valuable information, and congratulations on your success. It's always wonderful to talk to people who are living the dream, having the cake and eating it too. And congratulations on your success. Your website looks fantastic. If I ever get to Hawaii, when I get to Hawaii, I'm definitely going to come visit you, without a doubt. Tell people how they can find you again.
You can find Tiki's Grill and Bar on the web at tikisgrill.com, or you can find me at LinkedIn, Bill Tobin. Just do a Bill Tobin Hawaii, and Tiki's Grill and Bar will pop up as well, and you can find me easy. If you do come to Hawaii, please reach out. I'd love to make sure you're going to all the right places and having a great time, and I look forward to talking to you again, Marcus.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent.